Hi everybody, I'm Amy with Eating Healthy, Spinning Less. In today's video, you're going to see something very different. We are going to be talking about Sabbath. My husband and I and our family are Christians. We do not come from a background where we participate in the Sabbath of rest. And if you're completely unfamiliar with the word Sabbath, basically, it is a term that means rest. We know in Scripture that it says that it took 6 days for God to create the heavens and the earth. That was his choice. And on the 7th day, he decided to rest. And I think it's a model for us that we are to work hard for 6 days, and on the 7th day, we need to rest. But in our busy, crazy culture that we are in, we don't rest. And on the weekends, we fill our schedule and there's no time to prepare for a new week. I want us to participate in Sabbath like this. On Saturday evenings, I want to have a really big feast. My husband is going to talk to us about Sunday and preparing for the sermon on Sunday that our pastor is going to be preaching to us. We want to put down our phones. Just get off social media for a day. How awesome. And play with our kids, like play games outside, board games, card games. We just want it to be a really fun time with our family. We do go to bed on the earlier side on Saturday nights because we get up so early on Sunday mornings and we're at church by the 8 o'clock service. And then we're there till almost 12:30 or 1 in the afternoon. So we're there for a really long time. I want to take a break from the kitchen. I just don't want to have to come home and cook or prep food for the week or go grocery shopping. I want it all to be done. So I've already placed my Walmart grocery order and I'm planning on picking that up on Sunday evening. For meals during that about 24-hour period, I want them to all be pretty much prepped. I just want to have everything done and ready to go. For Sunday morning breakfast, I'm making English muffins this weekend, so you'll get to see how to make those. Sourdough English muffins, I should say. It's going to be just a really relaxed, restful Sabbath for us, besides us going to church. This is something that I'm so excited about. I've been sharing little glimpses here and there on Instagram, and I know a lot of people are excited about this video. They want to see what it's like. I'm telling you, there is no magic to this. It's really about preparing yourself for rest. All of these recipes that you're going to be seeing pretty much are not mine. So I will link all of the recipes for you down below. Okay, so prepping for Sabbath starts on Friday. I will complete everything by Saturday, and then there's no cooking happening, and that's it. So let me get in the kitchen with you. Let me show you what I've already done today, how I'm prepping, and then when it comes to Sabbath, I'll show you our Sabbath meal, and then that'll be the end of the video because I'm going to be taking a social media phone break for 24 hours. On Thursday night, I took my pork ribs out of the freezer and placed them in the refrigerator. Friday morning, I am going to marinate them as I'm showing you now with this delicious Greek-style marinade. We loved this marinade, and I ended up putting this recipe in my recipe keeper because we definitely want to make this again. This marinade would be so delicious on any cut of meat. So if you are not a rib fan, that's fine. Try this on chicken breasts or pork chops or a steak. I know you'll love it. These ribs came in our butcher box. I love butcher box because I don't want to have to find the highest quality meat. They do all the hard work for me. And I love that they just ship the meat straight to my front door and I can put it in my freezer for whenever we want to have meat, which is actually very rare. We only eat meat about once a week in our household. So if you are interested in purchasing from ButcherBox the highest quality meat that you can find at a great price, I will leave all my information for you down below. So after putting those ribs back in the refrigerator to marinate, it's time to make a Caesar dressing. This is delicious, and I absolutely love this dressing. You start out using tahini. Now, I get my tahini at Walmart. I think it's a great price, high quality tahini. But if you're not familiar with tahini, it's just ground up sesame seeds, and it can be slightly bitter. So we're gonna cut that bitterness in making this salad dressing. Once the dressing is made, you're not gonna believe how delicious and creamy it is. So we're going to start with just adding some lemon juice, a fresh garlic clove, of course, that makes everything delicious, and the secret ingredient are the capers. Capers can be bought at Walmart as well. You're gonna add some of the juice and some of the buds, because they are flower buds, if you didn't know that. My family absolutely loves this dressing. It is so good. Now, I did have to add water to thin it out. And on Saturday night, right before serving this, I do have to add more water to it because it does thicken up again. So on Fridays, I always make my dessert as well. I love having a dessert for dinner after our Sabbath meal on Saturday night. And I'm going to be making these little frozen lemon cheesecakes. We're going to start with the crust, which is almond flour. Then we're going to add some almond butter, honey, and coconut oil. And that's it. We're going to mix these ingredients together until we get kind of a pie crust consistency. You want to evenly distribute this mixture among your 12 cups in your cupcake liner and push it down, and then it's time to make the filling. I'm adding some soaked cashews to my blender along with some honey. And I'm also going to use half of a container of this Miyoko's cream cheese. It is just my absolute favorite. It has a tanginess to it that you just can't replicate, and so I highly recommend buying that. I get it at Target. Then we're going to add some vanilla and our lemon zest and lemon juice. Being that I am dairy-free, I just am so thankful for cashews, because you might think it's gross if you eat dairy, but cashews really do create this creamy, luxurious consistency and make amazing desserts or amazing creamy sauces. And I'm just so glad that I have cashews. I buy my cashews through Azure Standard, and they make the most delicious frozen lemon cheesecakes. You're gonna love this recipe. This recipe does not have a printable that I can show you. It is from the I Could Never Go Vegan cookbook. Check it out from your library. You're gonna love it. It is now Saturday morning, and it is very close to Sabbath. I have all of my sourdough bread to bake. I do this every single week, where I will make all of my sourdough recipes on Friday night. Really easy to do if you have a KitchenAid mixer, because that's all I use. I don't do any kneading myself. I just put all the ingredients in my KitchenAid, and my KitchenAid does all the work for me. And then on Saturday morning, all I do is form my bread loaves and put them in the oven. But as a bonus today, I'm also making English muffins for our breakfast on Sunday morning. You have seen me make my easy sourdough bread recipe several times here on my channel, so I'm just splitting my dough in half because this recipe makes 2 loaves, and I'm forming it into balls to let it rest for 20 minutes before I form it into my loaves, and then it'll rest again for an hour. But I'm doing this times 2, so I'm making 4 loaves of bread. But you're gonna see something a little bit different today, and it's gonna be fun, so just hang tight. I decided to experiment with my easy sourdough bread recipe to see if I could turn it into challah bread. Now, if you're not familiar with challah bread, it is the Jewish form of bread that they make for their Shabbats. It's beautiful. It's this braided, eggy, sweet, yeasty bread. But I wanted to see, could I still make it with my easiest sourdough bread recipe ever so that my husband can eat it because of his gluten sensitivity. It doesn't have eggs in it and all of that, but it's just braided sourdough bread, and it worked, and I want to show you how I did it. So as you can see, I took one of my sourdough balls of dough and I split it into 4 equal pieces. I'm rolling each of those pieces out, kind of like pizza crust, and then I'm rolling them up because I want to still give it that delicious sourdough layered look when you cut into the bread. And here came the challenging part, the braiding. I actually had to watch a YouTube video to learn how to do this. And it was so easy once I got the hang of it. So I highly recommend just watching a YouTube video, and maybe I'm doing it wrong. It kind of took me a little bit to figure it out, but it was really easy to do. And you're just overlapping the dough until you get this really pretty braided effect. I loved the process of learning how to do this so much that I went ahead and made a second one as well. And lastly, we're going to make our English muffins. These are so easy. Again, you just take all those ingredients, put them in your KitchenAid mixer, mix it all up, and put some saran wrap on it overnight, and you have amazing English muffin dough. So easy. So I'm just going to take it out of the bowl here and flatten it out like I'm making a cinnamon roll. So you're going to really roll it out and make it about a 1/2 inch thickness. And then we're going to cut out kind of like biscuits, but English muffins. We're going to speed up this video a little bit so I can show you how easy it is to make, but you just add your cornmeal to your parchment paper, and then you just start cutting out your English muffins with a cup. I like to do about a 3-inch in diameter cup, and it works so well. I got so many English muffins, even more than what the recipe said. Once you are done cutting out your English muffins, you want to top them with a little cornmeal. I like to cover them with saran wrap just to keep them from drying out. Put a towel over the top, and then you're going to let these rest for about 30 minutes to an hour. Then it's time to dry cook them. So you don't put any oil in your pan, you just heat up your pan to about medium-low heat. Add your English muffins. I do 3 or 4 at a time. And then you just put the lid on top. Cook them for about 4 minutes on each side, and you have amazing English muffins. My challah bread is done baking in the oven as well. Now, it kind of split a little bit, but that's okay. I'm also getting my ribs cooking. They've already cooked for about 30 minutes, but I'm just going to now cover them and roast them in the oven for another hour or so. They turned out amazing. My kids absolutely loved the spare ribs. My husband and I are not huge spare ribs fans, but we really did enjoy this recipe. It was absolutely delicious. To keep this Greek theme going with those spare ribs, I wanted to make this Greek spinach rice. I highly recommend it. I will put the link for you down below. It was so delicious. I ate the leftovers as well. I loved that rice. And then for an easy side dish to go with it, I just sauteed some onions and some tomato sauce. This is tomato sauce that I made from our garden last summer. and I'm adding some garlic to that, and then just some frozen green beans. I love green beans when they are cooked in a tomato sauce. So good. Sabbath is about to start, and I just have a few loose ends that I need to do before tying this whole meal together. So I cut up my lettuce and I just added my carrots, and that is my easy Caesar salad. That's it. Now we just add the dressing to it and it's done. My green beans are done. My rice is done. My pork spare ribs are done. It's all smelling so delicious. Right before we sat down for dinner, I got out my Instant Pot and I just chopped up my ingredients real quick for my cheap red lentil vegetable soup. This is for lunch on Sunday. It's so easy to just throw all the ingredients into one pot, turn on your Instant Pot, and walk away. I will put a link for you down in the description box below. This is an easy, yummy soup. Well, Sabbath is here and I am thankful. I'm thankful that I get to sit down and enjoy a beautiful meal with my family. I'm thankful that I get to rest, that I don't have any cooking to do for at least 24 hours. My family and I, we get to celebrate this time together, celebrate what the Lord has done for us this week. We get to enjoy a fantastic meal, play games, laugh, tell stories, watch a movie together if we want to, play a board game, enjoy our dessert, and just spend time together just with a heart of thankfulness, an attitude of gratitude. I hope that you enjoyed this video. If you like this video, give it a big thumbs up. Let me know what you think. I know this is completely different and super personal because it has to do with my religious beliefs and convictions, which is completely different than what my videos typically consist of. So let me know if you like it, and if you're new, please hit that subscribe button. It really helps me out, and thank you so much for watching.